These are great. Cool. Yeah. Really nice work. Nice to meet you. I'm excited to see how the work develops.
Thank you so much.
Cool. Hey, Mandy,
Hey.
how are you?
Good. I'm currently spending my summer vacation.
Nice. You getting up to much? Do you want to tell me a bit about yourself?
Yeah, so I'm currently enrolled in a graduate program, and I started to I decided to turn into the concept art and pre-production industry pretty much like 2 years ago, the year I enrolled in my graduate program. So I'm pretty new to this field, but before I'm also like I was also enrolled in a art school, but it was pretty old school style. So um yeah, so I in this course I just wanna learn more about digital painting because I think it's always been my pain point. I get used to do digital drawings for my art. So I just want to walk out of my comfort zone. Um, but yeah, that's pretty much about me.
That's really cool. Yeah, you've got a lot of great work, like very technical, um, really strong drawing here. It's like reminds me a little bit of Overwatch, I guess, like stylistically. These are really cool.
Thank
It's
you.
like this like really wide shape exploration is it's really fun. Yeah, and then these are the same ones, right, that you've developed a bit further.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. Yeah, there's definitely things you can you know think about, like the simplification type of stuff, and I guess like motivation of like the lighting and yeah, some material description and that kind of thing. But the fact that you're like going so bold with the silhouettes and you already have a pretty good grasp on like shape language um, is really it's really nice. Like
Thank
there's really strong sense of form as well in a lot of these drawings. Um, nice. So is there any, I guess, particular subject matter or style that you're gravitating towards?
You can refer to like my the second project, like the game project I did Zolo, yeah. Um
Mm,
because I had a portfolio review with Taylor Cranham earlier this year, and he said I can try. It could be fun if I try more kind of loose style, and I did try it in a senior game project, and I found I kind of like it, so I really want to work in this kind of really exaggerate and um like but really wacky kind of style.
Yeah, yeah, that's really cool. Yeah, I love this turtle guy. Really strong. Yeah, I think there's definitely things you can improve on. Yeah, in terms of like maybe the kind of simplification of some of the designs.
Mhm.
Um, when it comes to like rendering and that kind of stuff, like some of these sections, it's getting a little bit hard to read. I think, yeah, maybe the pattern on his skin, like the the noise there, um, it kind of adds to that a little bit. But yeah, there's just I think like maybe yeah, just like boiling things down a little bit more could be a good thing to think about, like less elements,
Mhm.
especially for such like an exaggerated style. Um, yeah, we can reduce that amount of elements that you're playing with and heighten certain different parts. But that's cool. These are nice as well.
Yeah, it's
Environments.
a 2.5D like side-scrolling game.
Yeah, yeah. So again, looking at things for a specific like context. Um, yeah, like the side scrolling thing. There's other games as well you can reference there, but um, you've already got this that when we talk about like limitations and stuff, right? You want that the players the platforming space like for the gameplay that has to have that certain like value range to make it understandable, like um, what's the gameplay section and what's the in the background and stuff, and that like clear separation. um, I think you're doing a good job of that, but yeah, can definitely push on that as well. Nice. Very cool. Any questions or thoughts?
Um, no, and I'm just really excited to join this class and really learn some painting skills.
Nice. Yeah, next week we're gonna focus more on like process, importance of a process. um so yeah, I think that's good for um I mean I can let me think. Okay, before we get into that too much, uh here are just some artists that I like. I'm going to share this list. I'm going to share the whole PSD and everything, and um, yeah, PSDs that I'm kind of making as I go. But yeah, they're not. These are just a bunch of artists that have inspired me um, through the years, and I think quite a few of them have like a distinct style that we can kind of observe and like move towards in some ways as well. But yeah, I think there'll just be maybe some names you recognize, some you don't, but just a lot of like googling these individual names could be good for starting points if people are stuck. I've loosely categorized them a little bit, but not not so much. Um, but yeah, some names we've talked about a little bit before. But yeah, kind of some of those like color key, more like visual development artists, and yeah, more like the classic fantasy guys that I was talking about before. but yeah, just some starting points. So I don't know, how are we doing on time? Because I think,
You're doing good.
okay, I'm just I want to see what people are. Do we want to see some painting demo? I can speed it up a little bit and talk through it. But okay, maybe because it's getting Justin Gerard is great. Maybe because it's getting a bit later, I will kind of give the assignment. The first assignment this week is again pretty loose. It's not like just opening up a little bit and thinking about what really inspires you and what direction you want to take your art. That's kind of just something that we want to consider and remember, like, when you pick a direction, it's not a life choice. You don't it's not that you don't have to have so much pressure on this decision or what way you want to move now, but it's just for now, and you're going to move, like in your course as an artist, you're going to like I have, right, you're going to move in different directions, and it's going to be this flowing thing back and forth, right? So you don't have to put so much pressure on it. And if you really can't decide, just think about artists that you like and then flip a coin and be like, okay, I want to look at this guy, or ask someone in the Discord. And you can, if you really try and like delve into a style but you don't like it, that's, and you realize that it's not for you, then that's okay as well. But hopefully you'll gain something just by going in a certain direction with your artwork. So it's a very loose task for today, but yeah, create reference boards with imagery and artists that you want to move towards, but keep it somewhat narrow. Don't go too spread out amongst like loads of different styles, or think about it in the terms of like the aspects of art, right? Like you could really like the shape design of one guy, or really like the form of someone else. So as long as it feels like they're not too disparate, that could be a way to go. But yeah, so again, like just start analyzing and maybe do some sketches and dissecting styles a little bit of these artists that you're going to look at, and research who inspired that artist, and create those kind of chains that we talked about, and going up that tapestry of inspiration. And next week, as I feel the eagerness, we will focus more on process. I am a strong believer, like I said before, in having a process. I feel like it just gives you a lot more confidence and a lot more freedom to play in different styles, like the ones I've shown you today, and just having an approach, and yeah, being like, it's not so scary, it gives you this like tether to fall back on, and yeah, I feel like process is really key. But again, not too much pressure, because I improvise a lot as well. It's when I'm going to do these painting demos, it's going to be okay. I have a sort of a set methodology, but I'm also free to change and mix up things if I want to change my mind about the direction of a painting. So it's a free flowing thing, but I think process is really important. And we're gonna use portraits as the kind of the main focus or the subject matter, right? But these principles that I'm going to talk about, with shape and values and edges and all this stuff that we're going to get into, these can be applied to other things, not just people. But yeah, I just feel like portraits is a good starting point. I do a lot of portraits. Maybe that's partly what attracted you to this course. So it's something that I do want to get into, for sure. And the following weeks after that are going to be a little bit more like concept focused, and pushing different styles. You know, in week 3 a little bit, we're going to be working from like a kind of more one reference and how you interpret that one reference in different styles. So I want to, that week you're going to kind of get out of your comfort zone a little bit, hopefully. And yeah, and then I won't go too much into the following weeks after that. But how does that sound? Can I get a hell yeah in chat if that sounds good? So this is kind of I know it's getting a bit late, but I have I have a pre-recorded video here that we can just like kind of go a bit more conversational, a bit more casual. And yeah, I'll let it play. I'll talk a little bit about my thinking. So for those eager to get into the painting aspect of it, then this could be good. But I know it's getting late, so if you have to leave, you know, maybe you can watch it back later. Nice to meet you, Callie. Okay, sorry, I'm just trying to find the speed thing.
Can I ask just a quick question about the homework?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Are there any like numbers we should aim for, like number of artists or something like that?
Not really. Like, I think maybe keeping it a kind of a narrower focus a little bit, just so there is a direction, just so when I'm critiquing your work in particular, like I have a kind of a reference point of what direction you want to go in a little bit. But yeah, it's there's no limit. I just, you know, try and keep them a little bit more focused. And obviously, if you have work that's in a similar vein to each other, then that's fine as well. But yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Yes, thank you.
Okay, so I'll speed it up a little bit because it is getting late. So sorry. Okay, so this took me about an hour, this painting, and I've posted it online. I haven't don't know if I've posted this in the Discord, I don't think. But really, I can talk a little bit about my thinking behind this. So we'll definitely get into this a little bit more next week, like I said. But yeah, I just wanted to paint this chicken with big legs. That's it really. I really liked, I think I really like, they feel like they could make a cool painting, right? This design of like exaggerating the legs. And yeah, when I've seen these chicken like videos of them, they're crazy. So really just Googled big feet chicken rooster, and found these different images, and there wasn't a single image that like this is a good thing to think about when you're getting references, right? There's different qualities in these references that I can pull from, and I'm kind of transferring all this information here into one thing. So immediately, like, this is the main one, this middle one. the middle right that I'm pulling from, but there's other aspects of these chicken of this chicken, like some of the form here and how there's like strong like kind of silhouette, you know, that shape that I wanted to reinforce in this leg here. But I'm kind of like seeing the commonalities between these references, and I'm seeing through them a little bit, and I'm designing this painting, you know, based on all of this information that I have. And there's these like colors. I'll go a bit slower maybe, but yeah. So I didn't know if I wanted to do like the white version or the orange and black and red, but I went with the orange. All right, let's slow it down a little bit. So someone asked before if I use a lasso tool to get like hard edges. I personally, you can definitely use it for this technique, but I personally just like to slow down and carve out the main shape. And I'm using the drawing as a guide, right? Because I'm not, I know in my final painting that there's not going to be a drawing really, right? But drawing is just the proportion, the shape, which definitely I need that. I need that for reference later on. But the actual line quality and everything, I'm not really focused on. I don't really care too much. So yeah, I'm carving out these shapes here. Really thinking about it in that simplifying things down, adding a little bit of squash here, a little bit of weight. I'm thinking about that, and yeah, trying to get like this cool kind of composition with like this flow, the flow from the legs and these like straights as well, how they fit into each other. But yeah, I think even from this main pose, right? Like the pose is obscured. It's really, it's kind of hard to tell what's going on just from this image, right? But because I'm using all my fundamental knowledge about form, and I can kind of like see through that. I can see through the image a little bit about the reference, and I'm okay. So there's that, and then there's this more straight leg, right? And I'm just applying that. So yeah, I'm making a painting. I'm not making a recreation of a photo, of a single photo, right? I have intention behind this painting. I want to exaggerate the movement and the feet and the legs, and later on I want the feathers to feel like dynamic and have a flourish, you know. But the characteristics, I'm thinking about the characteristics that I want this chicken to have. So yeah, definitely approaching it with intent. I'm not just mindlessly copying the photos. Yes, I just used the hard round brush for blocking, and then I'm painting it, and then I'm erasing it out with a hard edge as well. We can speed it up a little bit. Any questions? Like, feel free to ask. Yeah, I knew I'll probably talk about this in the class a little bit, but I'm kind of here. I'm thinking about the separate elements of these separate segments, right? Like these forms. Sorry, and I'm seeing how I'm observing them in the reference, and then I'm reapplying that into my image. But the way I've designed mine is a little bit more stylized and a bit more pushed, bit more like that diamond shape. Eduardo asks, how much of the design, shape, and color do you have figured out or planned out before you start an illustration? It's pretty. I'm kind of discovering it as I go. Even just seeing like Googling the references, something in the reference might spark like, oh, okay, he has that kind of attitude, you know, like I'm already building a mental image of what this painting could look like. So yeah, it's kind of just immediately as you see the reference, you have an idea. I have an idea of the rooster in my mind, like before I even Google it, because I've seen them before, right? So I'm like, oh, I want to paint that. I Google it, I see it more, and it reinforces it back into my intention for the painting. And the color as well. Yeah, sometimes I don't know, if I'm being more playful, I like kind of experiment a bit and figure out the color, like color palette, as I go, or maybe I have some idea in my mind. But I think it's good to have like a kind of a stronger mental image of where you want to go, because you're painting with an intent, with a direction in mind, and not just making random choices and hoping that it works. But yeah, a lot of this color that I'm getting here, I'm kind of seeing through the reference, if that makes sense. I'm ignoring a lot of the details and information, right? And I'm seeing, okay, what are those local colors? How do they relate to each other? You know, you've got, it's actually like quite a lot of soft gradients between these values and these colors, right? But I'm trying to think of it without any lighting applied. I'm just focusing on the local color, which is the color and the value inherent to that material. If there was no lighting applied, that's how I think about it. So that's what I'm focusing on. I'm only focusing on that part right now, but I know down the line I'll apply some form and some lighting and color. Sorry, lighting and yeah, the brushwork and everything like that. But I'm making a very simple foundation. I'm keeping things simple as long as possible. You know, I'm not needlessly making a bunch of details, and yeah, this is like having that process. Okay, Catherine asks, generally speaking, how would you practice? Like, how many hours would you spend painting? Would you schedule to practice specific things every day? I'm curious about how you organize your work routine, because I feel like I'm very disorganized. Yeah, I'm to be honest, like I'm a little bit disorganized as well. I feel like I'm quite spontaneous with what I feel like painting that day, and I'm just like, oh, maybe I'll paint you know, some kind of weapon, or it's mostly a portrait. But yeah, I just kind of do whatever feels good to me at the time. But I'm maybe a little bit further along than some people. So if you really want to focus on studying and like being regimented, I would take that more seriously when I was younger, having that kind of study mentality. And I would study with a purpose, right? So when I would make these illustrations or make these challenges, when I was working on an illustration, let's say of a guy in armor and he's riding a horse, or, you know, just hypothetically, I would do drawings of horses with photo reference and stuff. And then the same with metal, painted a lot of knights and metal and that kind of thing. And I would study how that works. And yeah, I would take it, I'd be quite regimented with it, I suppose, but you still want to enjoy it at the same time. Yeah, hopefully that answers your question. I'm not sure. So now I'm just going in with that multiply layer. We've got the local colors all kind of established. I'm quite happy with that. And I'm going in with yeah, some different brushes and painting in areas and erasing some, but I'm thinking about how the light's hitting it and that 3D form underneath, right? So his belly is a rounder, softer form. But I'm basically stacking a lot of, I see it as like stacking a lot of simple choices on top of each other, a lot of simple decisions that makes up the complexity as it goes further along. We'll speed it up a little bit. And it might look a bit ugly right now, and that's okay. You gotta trust the process. It's, the work doesn't need to be like this beautiful thing in every stage. I think there are cool aspects of it, you know, already, but I know where I'm going because I've done this a lot. So I just feel comfortable with the painting right now. I'm not panicking about how it looks, or, you know, it's okay because I've got that process and I'm just gonna trust in that. I'm still making creative, hopefully I'm making some creative decisions as I'm painting, but yeah, because I have the method that I'm using, it gives me more confidence. Notice that I'm quite, I guess I think I'm apply shadows quite simply, you know, like I'm not over painting. It's just simply applying the 3D form. You know, in the first step, focused on silhouette and that graphic read, you know, a lot. And now I've kind of switched into more of, okay, now I'm applying the form to this.